guys, so I wanted to do a video about dealing with horses in extreme temperatures because I am in Central Florida and we have had a heat index of over 115 for probably about 4 or 5 days in a row now. It's been so long I can't even keep track. We've been dealing with several horses that are not sweating, some that are just sweating lightly. It's been difficult, and on top of that we also have an animal sanctuary, so we have animals like pigs and dogs and cats and tortoises. I mean, different things that some can handle the weather better than others. But being in Florida, with it being this hot, we also have this high degree of humidity. So I lived in Arizona for 7 years. I had horses there, I had other animals. I never really had issues like this. I've honestly never had a horse suffer from anhydrosis until this past week. So I've done a lot of researching. We've done things to try to help our horses get through this. So I just figured it might be helpful for others that are experiencing this right now to kind of find out what we've been doing, and hopefully it will help you. Hopefully your animals will be feeling better soon. Ours are getting through, but it's definitely been difficult. We probably have another 3 or 4 days of this extreme heat to go before we get into slightly lower temperatures. But let me just give you a little recap of what's been going on. So as I mentioned, I am in Central Florida, and my horses are all very well cared for. They're on supplements, they are exercised. I have structures in each of my paddocks, as you can see, that are shaded with fans running. So they're able to get out of the sun. They can cool off if they need to normally, and they usually don't have any issues. Until about 4 days into this heat wave that we've been experiencing, I noticed that one of my horses, Blackjack, was not sweating and he was breathing very heavy. So we brought him in, hosed him down, decided to put him in a stall behind a fan, and basically had to just keep hosing him all day. And then I noticed that another one of my mares, Shay, also was not sweating, so we had to do the same with her. So then I started to try to figure out what was causing this and what we could do to fix it. So basically what I realized is that when horses are sweating nonstop for days on end and they do not get any kind of a break at night because the humidity and the heat index is still high enough at night that they would normally be sweating, their sweat glands go into a fatigue. They literally just cannot sweat anymore. So there's reasons why this could be occurring. It could be from dehydration. It could be because they've depleted their electrolytes. There's a lot of different factors that could come into this. But basically it is pretty common, and right now in Central Florida with the heat that we've been having, a lot of horses are experiencing this. People have commented that we should give them Guinness. I guess dark beer has been known to help them initiate sweating again. Other people have commented that we should try acupuncture. They've had really good success with that. A lot of people just say give them electrolytes, only turn them out at night. So basically here's what we have been doing. So for the horses that are having trouble sweating or are not sweating at all, we've been keeping them inside during the day so that they're in the shade and we have fans blowing on them. Now this is still not an ideal situation because the thermometer in the barn reads that it's over 100 degrees the majority of the day. So still not ideal, but at least they're not in direct sun and they have fans on them. We are also hosing them down probably about once an hour because the water will help them cool off basically. So the whole point when they're sweating is that the sweat helps decrease their body temperature. So if we can artificially create sweat on them by hosing them down, that will do the same thing. And then we put them back in their stalls behind the fans, or let them stand on the cross ties with the fans overhead for a little bit, and that will help cool down their body temperature. Now we know when they are in distress and that they need to be cooled down because their breathing becomes rapid. So when we see a horse that's really rapid breathing, their nostrils are flaring and they're breathing a lot faster than they normally would, we know that it's time to hose that horse down and bring down their body temperature. So we have automatic waterers in our stalls, which are convenient most times of the year because they refill automatically and the horses can have access to as much water as they need. But during this extreme heat, the water actually becomes quite hot, and it really doesn't refill in enough time for them to drink an adequate amount. So we started putting buckets in the stalls and just filling them throughout the day. And I also started adding electrolytes. So it's a powdered electrolyte that we've been adding to the buckets that gives a little bit of a flavor, encourages them to drink, and also adds electrolytes into them. So that's one of the big things that we've been doing for the horses who are stalled and the horses who just come in at night, is adding buckets of water with electrolytes. The other thing that we've been doing is only giving the horses who are having trouble sweating evening turnout time. So Jack is very excited, as you can see in this video, to be turned out. He did not like being stuck in the stall all day, but it was finally cool enough that he could go out. And we do also have a pond in that pasture, so he can go in and cool himself off. But again, during the day, the pond alone will not be enough. But in the evenings, it is adequate for him, and he can go out in the evenings, exercise, get some time out of the stall, and then we bring him back in the morning. We are also performing acupuncture on them and stimulating specific points to help them start sweating and regain homeostasis. I will post in another video the exact points that we're utilizing in the protocol for those that want to know. If you don't have acupuncture needles, you can actually do this using a cold laser. If you don't have a cold laser, you can do it using your fingers and do it as acupressure. But it definitely does help to try to get their meridians flowing properly, and that can aid in regaining proper sweating and just getting them back in a homeostasis where they can regulate their own body temperature. We are also giving them a tube of electrolyte paste each. And as always, we always have loose salt and minerals available for them to pick at as they wish to do so. So overall, we are trying to make sure that we are maintaining their hydration, their electrolytes, and giving them some shade and shelter and hydration throughout the day. I cannot yet say how well these protocols are working. I can give you an update in a few days when this hot weather leaves us, but I can say that a few horses that were not sweating are now sweating. We still do have a couple that are not sweating at all, and we've had a couple more since then that were sweating, stopped sweating. So we're just trying to deal right now with the heat the best that we can, and I will keep you updated, but I hope this video helps all of you.